Hello all and welcome to the video lecture series on computer communication networks. So we were discussing the concepts from module 3, that is network layer. So this is the third video in the lecture series on network layer. Hello friends, this is Abhilash KJ, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Will guide you guys through the session. For more video contents on computer communication network, you can visit my YouTube channel. Let us revisit what we have discussed in the previous video lecture. We had discussed the concept of network layer performance under four broad categories, that is under delay, throughput, packet loss, and congestion control. In this video, we shall consider the concept of IPv4 addresses. So under IPv4 address, first we shall discuss the address space, that is the number of addresses that is contained in the IPv4 addresses and how we are representing the IPv4 address. Then we have the two different notations or two different ways in which the IPv4 address distribution is done. One in terms of classful addressing and second in terms of classless addressing. Then we consider the automatic distribution or the configuration of the IP addresses in terms of DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Control Protocol. We consider the network address resolution or network address translation, how exactly the global address is mapped into a local address or vice versa. And finally, we'll consider by making use of the IPv4 address identities, how exactly the forwarding operation is implemented. So next we shall consider one of the important parameter that is used at the network layer to route the packets or to forward the packets. One entity which shall help is called as IPv4 addresses. So the IPv4 address is an identifier that is used by the IP layer or the network layer to identify the connection of each device to the network. If any device that is connected to the network, it shall have an identifier with respect which is defined at the network layer, which will help the other devices in the network to identify the device at the network layer only. So this particular address or the identifier is called as the internet address or the IP address. So IPv4 address is a 32-bit address which is unique as well as universal in nature, which shall define the connection of any particular host or a router to the internet. So one thing we have to remember here, we already had the concept of physical address. The physical address defines a device, that is the entity of the device or identity of the device. But IPv4 is different from IPv4 address is different from physical address in terms of being it is a logical address. That means the IP address is the address of the connection, not the host or the router. Address of the host or router is nothing but the physical address. The address of the connection or the link is called as the IP address. Because of this scenario, if a device is moved from one network to another network, its physical address will not change, but its IP address will change. So most of the IP addresses are unique in nature, that each individual address, that is IP address, will define only one connection or one link that is connected to the internet. If the device which has If the device has two IP addresses, that means it has two connections to the internet via two different networks. And the IPv4 addresses are universal in the sense the addressing scheme that has to be used or that has to be accepted by any of the hosts that is part of the internet and they want to get connected to the internet. That is why we refer IPv4 address or IP address as unique and universal in the nature. Unique here, IP address is unique because it defines only one IP address will define only one connection, and it is universal because any of the system or any of the hosts that want to get connected to the internet which shall have the same similar addressing scheme that is being used. Next, we shall consider the address space of IPv4 addresses. Any protocol which we are defining in day-to-day life, which shall have the number of addresses that it shall support. So thus an address space is nothing but it is a total number of addresses that is supported or that is used by an protocol. For example, if the protocol uses B bits in order to define or represent an address, then it shall have 2 power B address space, that is the number of addresses. So since why exactly the base 2 we are using here, because we are defining this in terms of bits. So IPv4 is a 32-bit address. Since it is a 32-bit address, every bit can take only the two values, either it is 0 or it is 1. Because of that, if I have B bits, then I have 2 power B combinations possible. Because of that, the address space, that is total number of address that is supported, is 2 power B. As I've already quoted, IPv4 is a 32-bit address, which means the address space is equal to, the number of address is equal to 2 power 32, which is more than the 4 billion addresses that are possible. So next we shall look into the concept of the notations, that is way in which the IP addresses could be represented. So it could be represented in three ways, that is in binary, dotted decimal, and the last one is the hexadecimal. So the binary notation is nothing but base 2. That means the address is represented in terms of bits, that is in zeros and ones. So all the 32 bits will be in the picture. So to make it more readable, it could be represented in terms of dotted decimal, wherein we make use of the base 256 concept. So each individual octets, that is 8 bits, are grouped into one decimal equivalent, and it is represented by the 4 different decimals which are separated by the dot symbols. So each of the decimal number here is nothing but equivalent of this but one octet, that is 8 bits. 8 bits are represented by one decimal value, and each of the decimals are separated by the dots. That is why we call this as dotted decimal. So once again, this could be represented in terms of hexadecimal number. So here one have to note the binary representation can take only two values from 0 to 1. In the dotted decimal, each individual digit can take the values from 0 to 255, a total of 256 values. And when it comes to hexadecimal, we represent this 8-bit in terms of hexadecimal number, hexadecimal format. Majority of the cases, the notation that is being used is either the binary address or the dotted decimal. Very few cases we will be making use of the hexadecimal format for representing an IPv4 address. So next we shall consider the concept of hierarchy in the addressing. The term hierarchy here nothing but how exactly the address are interpreted to extract the information related to the network information related to the host. So this hierarchy could be related to the concept of the postal network address. Any postal address we are writing, we'll specify few informations which are very specific. First, we shall have country, next we have state, then we have city, followed by street, followed by house number, finally we have the name of the recipient. Thus, whenever I have a post letter, postal address, first I have to look into is, the first thing I have to look into is which country that belongs. Then I have to check for the state. Then I have to check for the city, followed by the other information. So this is the hierarchy in which the postal addresses are referred. Similarly, with respect to IPv4 addresses also, we have an hierarchy in the addressing scheme. So as we have already stated, IPv4 is a 32-bit IP address. In this case, the first n bits of 32-bit IP address is called as a prefix, followed by 32 minus n bits of suffix. So now we have to define what information your prefix can give and what information your suffix can give. So prefix shall give me the information related to a network to which the host is belonging, and suffix gives me information regarding to the connection or the link that it belongs. So once again I'll repeat, the first part of the address is called as the prefix, which shall define the network to which the host is belonging. The second part of the address, referred as suffix, which shall define the connection of the particular device to the internet. So this length is nothing but n bits, that is prefix. If the prefix length is n bits, the suffix length will be 32 minus n. So what conclusion we can draw here out of this? The prefix length can be fixed one or it could be a variable one. So initially when the addressing scheme, 32-bit address in terms of IPv4 address came into picture, the prefix field was a fixed one. Later it was made variable. So when the prefix length was fixed, it is called as a class full addressing. In case the prefix is variable one, then it is called as the classless addressing. We shall discuss both of this in detail. So first we shall consider the concept of classful addressing. So when internet standard, that is IPv4 address came into picture, it was designed with having the fixed length prefix, that is the size of the network, that is the first part of the IP address was fixed length. But in order to accommodate the small organization as well as the large networks, three variants of fixed length prefixes were defined, that is n is equal to 8, n is equal to 16 and n is equal to 24, and the entire address space is divided into 5 classes, that is class A, class B, class C, D and E. Though the classful addressing belongs to the conventional way, since we have divided the address space into different classes, this scheme is called as the classful addressing. So what exactly makes it different classes? The length of the prefix will define the individual classes. Class A has a prefix length of 8, that is network size is defined by the first 8 bits. Next we have class B, which is 16 bits in length, that is network is defined by first 2 bytes, that is first 16 bits. Then we have class C, in which the network is defined by first 24 bits, the prefix is the first 24 bits or 3 bytes. So only the last byte is responsible for the suffix, that is individual connection, which shall define the individual connection to the host. So let us look into the let us look into each of these particular classes, how exactly it is defined. So in terms of address space, we have defined with a prefix length of n is equal to 8, the class A consumes around 50% of the total addresses or address space that is possible, followed by the class B, which shall occupy 25% of the address space, followed by the class C, which shall accommodate 12.5% of the address space, and followed by D and E classes, which shall take the occupation, which shall occupy 6.25% each of the address spaces. So how exactly this 50, 25%, 12.5% and 6.25% are defined? So which shall be explained in detail with respect to this particular table. So class A is identified by how exactly one comes to know that this is a class A address or class B address or any other classes. So is by looking into the prefix information, that is dependent on the information that is contained in the prefix field of the address. One is identifying whether it is a class A address or class B address or class C address. Suffix will not give you information regarding to which class it is belonging, to which network it is belonging. So thus the information in the network part of the address, that is prefix of the address, shall define which class the address is belonging to. If the address is starting with 0, that is the first bit of the prefix is 0, then it is called as the class A address. And this class A address, the network size, that is number of bits that is used to define the prefix, is equal to 8 bits. That is, in the 32 bits, first 8 bits are used to define an prefix. Thus, the length of the suffix will be 32 minus n. N value here is 8. Thus, I have 24 bits of the suffix. So this shall define the number of hosts that are supported here, and this will define the number of networks that are supported. So the number of bits you use to represent a prefix will define the size of the networks. Number of bits you are using to define an suffix will define the number of connections that are supported. So thus, since in class A network size is prefix size is 8 bits, starting with the first bit of 0, it can support 2 power 8 addresses, the networks. So prefix will define the number of networks, suffix will define the in simpler words, prefix will define the number of networks, suffix will define the number of connections or number of links. The class B will have 2 bytes of prefix and 2 bytes of suffix. That means 16 bits of the prefix and 16 bits of the suffix. In this note, to identify the first bit, the address will start with 1 0. If the address is starting with 1 0 in binary format, then the IP address belongs to class B in classful addressing. And next one is class C, which shall occupy the network is represented by with a prefix having 24-bit length. In this particular case, and the suffix is represented by only the 8 bits. So this will define the number of connections that is supported. This will indicate the number of networks that is supported. And the class C address is identified by looking into the IP address. If the IP address is starting with 110, then it belongs to class C. And finally, we have 2 different categories, that is class D and class E. Class D will not have a prefix as well as a suffix, since it is considered as a multicast addresses. that is one-to-many communication. In this particular case, the address will be starting with 1110. After that, any information is there, it is considered as a multicast address. And final class, that is class E, is not divided into prefix, as well as the class E, that is not defined into, once again not divided into prefix and suffix. In case the address is starting with all ones, it belongs to class E. So what we can conclude out of this? By looking into this contribution itself, the prefix length is less number of networks, more number of users. As the prefix length increases, it shall support more number of networks, less number of users. And with respect to class C, it can support more number of networks and less number of users. So this is how you could relate with respect to the contribution I am representing here. Since class A has less of prefix, less number of networks are supported, but each of the networks can support or can accommodate more number of users, since the more addresses are available here, or more number of connections that are available here. As the prefix length increases, network size increases, number of connections that is supported will decrease. So because of this, class A will have more number of addresses as more number of connections are possible. As the transition from one class to another class is made, the prefix length is increasing. Because of that, the number of connections are reduced. That is why B has less number of connections, and then we have C, which is having very few number of addresses again. And same is true with respect to class D as well as class E. So what exactly the prefix will indicate? So class A has the prefix length of 8. That means it shall support 2 power 8 addresses. 2 power 8 is nothing but 128. That means the addressing starts from 0 and it can support up to 127 in terms of decimal. If you are representing the address in terms of decimal, it shall support address from, since it is starting with 0, the first address that is there is 0. From 0 to 127, it shall have the value. So thus I can have around 127 networks possible here. Next, with respect to class B, the prefix length is 16. Since already class A has occupied the value from 0 to 127, this address will start from 128. Why? Because we consider only 7 bits in the class A. 0 value indicates it is a class A, means only the values from the 7th bit to the 0th bit is considered, 6th bit to the 0th bit is considered here. So on that note, the maximum value you can have is 127. Since the B is starting with 10, I have to consider the next 6 bit values, 12 bits values. Because of that, the total addresses that are supported here are from 128 to 191, and with the prefix of 24 for class C, it shall support the value from 192 to 223, and other classes here we don't have any prefixes or suffixes. Because of that, it will be having the values from 224 to 239 for class D and 240 to 255 for class E. So one thing you can observe out of this, class A has prefix of 8 bits, in which the first bit is 0. Then you have only the other 7 bits which are supporting, which are helping you to calculate the addresses. So 2 power 7 is nothing but 128. That is why you have total addresses of 128 networks. So A supports in total 128 networks. And then when we have class B has network length of 8 plus 8, that is 16 bits, out of which first 2 bits are used to identify the network class. Because of that, you have 16 minus 2, that is 14 bits. So total number of networks that are supported here are equal to 2 power 14. That is 16,384 networks are supported here in the entire world, which can have the class B address. Finally, the third category, the third class, that is 110, which will represent class C, has the prefix length of 24. So 24 minus 3 bits are used to represent class C, you have 21. Because of this, it can support 2 power 21 networks. That is 20, that is around 20 lakh 97,152 networks in the world can have class C address. So this is how one can calculate the number of networks that are supported and number of addresses that are supported. So the number of networks supported are given by the total number of prefix bits that are used to identify. In class A, total I have 8 bits, out of which 1 bit is used for the representation. Then I have 7 bits, 2 power 7 address, that is 128 networks. Here I have 16 bits, 16 minus 2 is 14, 2 power 14. Here I have 24, 24 minus 3 is 21, 2 power 21 networks. So this is how the classful address information contained in the prefix is used to distinguish between the different classes of the address. So then the concept of even though the entire 4 billion addresses are categorized or subdivided into different classes, the concept of classful address, the distributions of the different addresses were not done properly. Because of this, the internet has faced a problem of being the problem in terms of the address being used up rapidly. Since the addresses are getting used up, there are no addresses that are available for the organizations or individual who want to get connected to the internet. So to understand this, let us look into this particular table and discuss more about this. As I have clearly mentioned, class A, the prefix length was 8. 1 bit was used to identify, the first bit is used to identify the class C. If it is 0, then I have 2 power 7 values. So 2 power 7 is nothing but 128. A can support 128 networks. And suffix that is available was 24 bits. That is 2 power 24 is nothing but this particular value. Thus, the class A could be assigned, it has a limitation in terms of class A could be assigned only to 128 organizations in the world. Entire world, class A could be given to only 128 networks. And at the same time, each organization has to have a network, a single network of 1 crore 67 lakh 77,216 users. That means if an class A address is given to an organization, that organization need to have these many number of users who are using that particular address. So there are very few organizations in the world which can be that huge. That is an organization having 1 crore 67 lakh 77,216 users in the single organization, which is very unideal situation to have. In this particular case, since entire one class is given to one organization, one network is completely given to one organization, the addresses are not completely used. In this particular case, the complete address space is not used properly. So if you consider class B is usually defined for the mid-size organizations. Once again, in this case also, the number of addresses will remain unused. Once again, it can have the more number of networks. Once again, each of the network having accommodating this many number of users is very unlikely situation. When it comes to class A and class B, the addresses were not used properly. There were unused addresses. But we have a different problem in class C. Here, the class C can have 20 lakh, more than 20 lakh networks. It can support more than 20 lakh networks. But each of the network can support the maximum of 256 members only, because we had 2 power 8 users. Suffix length was 8 bits. So 2 power 8 users could be made use of. So this particular problem here, each of these classes had different problem. Class A and class B had more number of addresses given, less number of users available. Because of that, address were not used properly. And the class C had offered more number of small networks, but each of the network had limitation in terms of the number of users that it could support. So to overcome this particular problem, a concept of subnetting as well as supernetting is proposed. In the subnetting approach, as the name itself indicates, subnetting and supernetting is nothing but subnetting usually happens with respect to class A and class B. Name itself indicates sub networking. That means the large network is divided subsequently into smaller networks, so that the addresses that are unused could be given to somebody else. Supernetting is a situation usually opted for class C. It is a situation in which supernetting means combining multiple C classes to have one network. So here in subnetting, as I quoted, it is usually implemented for class A and class B, wherein one network, one class A network or one class B network is further divided into several subnetworks, and each of the subnetwork which has a larger prefix length than the original network. So I hope everybody could relate to this particular concept. Prefix length is larger means more number of networks, less number of users. If the prefix length increases, network size increases, number of users decreases since the suffix length is decreased. So on that note, since you are subdividing class A and class B, the prefix length, the original prefix length will be less than the new prefix length. For example, class A had prefix length of 8. In case if you want to divide the class A into 4 subnetworks, on that note, the mask size has to be increased, or the length of the network, the prefix length has to be increased by factor of 2. Since you have 4 subnetworks, that means 4 combinations. 4 combinations means 2 power 2, that is 4. So that is why I have to have two more combinations. So that is why here the prefix length is increased from class A was 8, new subnetwork ID will have the prefix length of 10. At the same time, once again, all the addresses in this case might not also be used, but the subnetting will allow the different addresses to be divided among the different organizations. In the most of the large organizations which were because of the concept of subnetting, most of the large organizations were not very happy about dividing the given address space into the number of blocks, and the unused addresses were given to some other smaller organizations. Subnetting was not accepted widely by the large organizations. Coming to supernetting is a situation in which is completely opposite to that of the subnetting. In subnetting, we divided existing address space into the smaller ones, but supernetting will combine multiple smaller classes into a larger classes. So smaller classes comes from class C addresses. Here the multiple Class C blocks are combined into a one larger block, which is usually attractive for the organizations which is in the progressive mode, which needed more than 256 addresses. Once again, this idea didn't work properly because the concept of supernetting made the routing of the packets more difficult because the length of the prefix was reduced. Since the length of the prefix was reduced, at the router level, the confusions were created regarding which of the principle that is been identified. That is, whether the subnetting is done or the supernetting is done. So next we shall consider the advantages that is offered by the class full addressing. The concept of class full addresses made an user to easily identify to which class it belongs, because just by looking into first 3 or 4 bits of the prefix, one can identify whether it is a class A address or class B address. uh, it becomes easier for an user to identify the class as well as identify the network on that node. At the same time, the prefix length in the classful addressing is present in the address only. So the user does not require any additional information to extract the information regarding the number of bits used to identify the prefix and number of bits that is used to represent suffix. These confusions were not created, but at the same time it had problems in terms of the address depletion. Let us review what we have considered and what we have discussed and cover the topics in this particular video. We considered the concept of IPv4 addresses, in which we had discussed the address space and the classful addressing. So in the coming video lecture, we will discuss, with relation to IPv4 addressing, the classless addressing. All these presentation templates are referred and downloaded from the Slides Carnival website, so which provides the customized and free templates for all of the presentation needs. So the link is provided in the description. I hope you like this particular video. If you have liked, please like the video, share among your friends, and subscribe to my channel for further updates on computer communication networks. Thank you so much.